Hello, everybody. I am back from the beach, if you can't tell. The beach was opened up a little bit, and we could go down there for recreation only, not just to be lounging and sitting around. And so went and hung out a little bit today. Got my locks in the salty seawater, which felt really good. So I'm down and little sun kissed today. Of course, I'm going to start with reading a quote from Ada Calhoun's amazing book, Why We Can't Sleep. And then I'll introduce our awesome guest, who you can see. She's right over there. Okay, so it used to be you rated yourself on maybe 3 or 4 things, says Jennifer J. Deal, Senior Research Scientist at the Center for Creative Leadership. Your looks, your house, your husband, and your kids. Now it's all that, plus your career, your finances, how eco-conscious you are, how healthy you are, and on and on and on. So many Gen X women have told me that they were raised believing that if you don't care about everything, you're squandering opportunity. They felt pressure to take advantage of all the chances their mothers and grandmothers didn't have, and they've worn themselves out in the process. So Crista Trzebiatowski is here. Is here to talk to us today because she knows a little bit about this, and I think that she's a really great example of someone who is finding that balance between trying to do all the things like we talked about yesterday, and also make sure that she's taking care of wants, shoulds, health, safety, welfare. So Crista, tell us about you.
Hey guys, Crista. I am a mom. I work part-time. I have 3 small businesses, but I work really, really hard at 2 of them. And I do all the things. I work really hard. I work really hard every day to be a good mom, to be a good coworker, to be everything that I need to be. So,
and not just a mom. You're a single mom.
Yes.
Right. So you're doing the single mom thing. You're being mom and dad. Yep. And like we've talked about, it's not that you don't have support, but at the end of the day, you're the parent.
Yep.
And still trying to do all the things that we as women are expected to do, while at the same time trying to say, I'm going to bring this up again, get that high five going there. So these are all the things that society is saying you should do this, and they're shoulding all over you. And these are over here the things that you want to do. And here in the middle are the needs, right? The health, the safety, the welfare. And you, I think, do a great job of making sure you're taking care of your health, your safety, your welfare. Recently, you were very, very excited about an opportunity you had, and you decided to turn that opportunity down. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So for a very, very long time now, guys, I really wanted to go back to school. I knew, someday I really wanted to be able to talk about nutrition. I wanted to spread the word about nutrition and it being medicine and how it can help people. And I wanted to do that because I saw so many of my family members struggle with nutrition. And so I wanted to go to school. I want to go to school. I'm not even wanted. I want to. And so I got accepted into college. I got the bravery. I applied. I did all the work. It was a lot of work. I wrote my essay and I got accepted into college.
Huge.
And I got my acceptance letter right after the COVID hit. And at that point, after I got the acceptance letter, I was like, whoa, I'm so excited. Whoa, everybody, you guys, I'm going to college. I finally am here. I finally made this, I finally did this. I got my bravery. And then I realized that I don't have time for college right now. I need to be here for my daughter and myself. I need to stay sane and not add to this already piling on situation. So like, I'm learning how to be a teacher. I'm, cooking 3 times a day, whereas before when I was going to work, it was 1 or 2 times a day. I'm having to do all them dishes. I'm having to, clean a lot more because we're home a lot more. And I enjoy doing those things. I don't mind doing those things, but my daughter, she is a 5th grader as well. And so there's been a lot of trauma associated with the COVID-19 and her not being able to return to her school. And so I need to be that emotional support for her.
Right.
And
That
so,
stability.
yes, and I needed to fit in 4 hours of work every day, which I was finding it like super hard to do. I was at my breaking point. Like I just could not do it all. I was having to do so many things, and I was just finding that I was beyond stressed out. I was at my breaking point. And so I had to turn down the opportunity to go back to college. And that was heartbreaking for me because I put in that hard work.
Right.
I was right there. I was so close. But you know what? The welfare, the safety, and the health of my family is first. It's number one. And if giving up that opportunity right now is what it means for me to be present for my family and to be sane for myself,
Right.
that's what I needed to do.
Well, because you do have other wants that you attend to.
Right.
For example, you want to be able to live in a certain place. You want to have a certain level of stability, financial stability for your daughter and time. And those are the wants that you're choosing.
Right.
And you're recognizing that we can't have every single want. And how are you doing with that should piece, with going, well, I have to give up some of my wants in order to take care of my health, my safety, my welfare. What about those shoulds? What shoulds do you say, you know what, society, screw you. You're shoulding all over me. Here's the umbrella. I'm not dealing with it.
So yeah, there was a situation today, and I'm not going to throw people out on the curb, but it was a situation that really upset me. So I've been really trying hard to balance learning to be a teacher for my daughter, learning to be that emotional support because, this is a traumatic time. It's not a joke. So I've been learning to try to be present in all of these different areas. And that meant work too, because I'm an essential employee. I work for the school district. And so because we were being paid for our hours, we were expected to work. And my job at the school district is not teaching. It's not janitorial, although I did do that for a little while. I did go to the schools and I did clean. My job is healthcare. I am a healthcare professional. And so I obviously am not in school taking care of the kids and giving out medications and doing all of that stuff right now. I am expected to do professional development and be on the computer for 4 hours, which when I'm expected to be a teacher for my daughter is really, really hard to keep up with work and focus on 4 hours of work while I'm trying to focus on helping my daughter with her work and thinking about what I need to cook for lunch, what I need to cook for dinner. I need to go to the grocery store. I need to do a load of laundry. I need to run this errand. It's, even though COVID hit, it was still a lot of responsibilities that I needed to follow up with. And so I recently had a discussion with my boss, and she told me that she didn't think that my priorities were in the right place. And that really frustrated me because I work very hard. But we worked together and we worked it out, and she ended up asking if I would be willing to take the rest of the time with my personal time and my sick time, and it worked out just fine. And so but it was just, I felt like I was being pressured to do what they wanted me to do, whereas I needed to be present for my daughter.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like I needed to stay sane myself. I needed to balance all these things. I needed to do all the things.
Right.
But I was also being expected to put in these 4 hours of work. And I was going crazy. I was going crazy because I felt like I was constantly failing because I wasn't able to make my hours.
Yes, that constant failure, and then the judgment on yourself.
Right.
And, Ashley was on here yesterday talking about we have to be able to forgive ourselves. And we do, but we also have to be brave to have that conversation and say, no, wait a minute. I understand that my priorities are not the same as yours. Yes. Let me explain my priorities to you. And once you did explain your priorities to your boss, it was like, oh, okay, yes. Well, here are the options that we have in place. Mm-hmm. And everything worked out really well. Right. So I don't think that you're throwing anybody under the bus. I think that's actually a huge tribute to them being people who listen.
That's why I love my job, because
that is fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, that is really fantastic. And kudos to them for being able to recognize that, and that's where you need to be right now. And it's not hurting anybody for you to take your time, your personal time, your sick time to do the things that you need to do to take care of your family.
Right.
I love that. That is spectacular. And it's very difficult for a lot of women, especially. It's very difficult to go into our boss's office or to anybody who we see as setting the structure of what we should do, and tell them, no, we don't like to say no.
Yeah. It was so hard for me to stand up for myself today. It's not even like me to normally do that, but I was literally, I couldn't do anymore. I could not take anymore. I needed that serenity. I needed that peace in my life, because it's not worth stressing out over. It is not worth it.
Right.
It's not.
100%. It's not. And the thing is, we don't have to.
No.
We have these freedoms. We have these rights that, yes, our mothers and our grandmothers, they kicked ass and they took names so that we could have the right to do this. They didn't do it so that we had to do it. They did it so that we could if we wanted to.
Right.
And I think that is so important for us to remember. And why I just keep talking about Ada Calhoun's book, because I want women to understand you're not alone. You don't have to do all the things. Quit letting the world should all over you. Mm-hmm. Look at the options that you have and say, I want this one, this one, this one. Just like when we go to the grocery store, we don't take a loaf of every bread.
No.
We take the kind of bread that we like.
Right.
Not one of every brand. And we need to start doing the same thing with our lives, of saying, I don't have to take one of every one. I don't have to buy the whole shelf. I can't afford it. And literally, we can't afford to be doing all the things that we don't have to do. This is what we have to do.
Yep.
Some of the things that we want, some of the things that we should, health, safety, welfare. And when we do this, lo and behold, we start surrounding ourselves with other people. High five. It's wonderful. That little thing they used to do with, like, here's the church, here's the steeple, open the door, you see all the people. To me, I don't know. I think about that. Like, that's, you start meeting people that instead of having to carry them, or smother them, we get to be together, individuals, and woohoo, jazz hands. Um, and that's why I really love that that metaphor so much of the high five, because it works, I think. But I love your story. I love how much the actual personal growth that you have done just in the short time that we've known each other. I've seen you doing some amazing things. So definitely wanted to have you on here talking about that great stuff that every woman struggles with, whether she's a single mom or doesn't have kids at all, or is married or is single and in the dating game. It doesn't matter. We are all trying to do all the things. Yeah. And we don't have to. Yeah. And you will go back to school. You will choose that want over another want at some point when it works with your health, your safety, and your welfare. I love it. I love it. I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad that you were here today. And I seriously look forward to having you on here again.
Thanks, Angela.
Thank you so much. Mwah.